we're going to be talking about elections coming up and, of course, campaigns. A lot of things happened in the past week. I think the biggest highlight, besides, of course, the Chief Justice of the Federation being suspended, was Rubbi Ezekwesili, presidential candidate of the ACPN, withdrawing her candidacy, and the INEC subsequently saying you cannot withdraw. It was quite dramatic during the week. But I have here with me Chido Kereke to help me dissect all of this. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Ebuka.
Speaking about Dr. Rubbi Ezekwesili, what was your take on that entire scenario? Because she was one of the last to come into the race to start with, and she seemed to have started gathering some support. There were people who were passionate about her and her beliefs and the values she stands for. And then this came out this week. What informed that? Were you surprised?
Was I surprised? Not necessarily. I mean, from the onset. Now, first of all, I have to establish the fact that I'm a big fan of Madam Rubbi Ezekwesili. I'm a big fan of her and all she does in the public domain. But then I think her candidacy was ill-informed. I don't think she should have gotten into the race in the first place. Having moderated the pact in the first place, and then the elections being so close, we have an opportunity to, garner support for one other candidate who's solid enough to defeat the incumbent, and then trying to divide and conquer. It didn't sit down well with me. So I think it was a step in the right direction for her to eventually step down. I don't believe in a pact at this time. I don't believe in a coalition at this time.
It's too late, you think?
It is too late. It is defeatist. It is going to basically work in favor of the incumbent. Basically going to split votes amongst those who are trying to get into the presidency. So I think it is ill-informed. I don't think it is at this point. And then the party, I don't think she's part of whatever the party is doing. I'm sure she's not part of whatever the party is doing. But the party has rallied behind the president. That's to show you that from the onset, her intentions may have been pure, but their intentions are not.
There are two schools of thought. So there are people who say she was always a part of this conversation about Mr. President and she was always an agent, quote unquote. There are those who said this is actually why she's dropped out, because she found out that the party she was working with was not working in her interest.
I do not think she was. I don't think she's an agent of trying to. I think she's passionate about the country. I think she's idealistic. She wants to see the country work, and I think that is what informed her deciding to run. But I'm biased. I'm going to admit that I'm very, very biased towards her. So while some of this school of thoughts might have some merits to it, I personally would defend her anyway and say no, she could not have been just an agent to promote this guy's candidacy. The party coming out to do what they did is a sign of the fact that politics is as murky as it is. It's still as dirty as we think it is, and it is very, very now more than ever. It is important that good people try to put their hats in the ring.
Let's talk about, you say you're not a huge fan of pacts and coalitions now, but we hear that two other candidates, Fela Durotoye and I think Kingsley Moghalu, might be coming together to form an alliance. We don't know what sort of alliance it is yet. If someone's going to be dropping out for the other, if they're going to be running mates together, we don't know exactly. But you still think it's too late?
First of all, I feel it is disrespectful to assume Nigerians are just sitting down and waiting for somebody to come out and rescue them. If you want the presidency, you have to work for it. You have to work hard for it. You have to start a long time ago to work for it. You wanted to build a pact. And I'll use the APC as an example. Before the APC came together, there were major parties that decided, okay, look, major regional parties that said, let's build a national party. And they started work 2 years before the elections. You can't build a pact through. What is it? You can't do that. People will begin to question your motivation, your motives for doing these things, because it is too late to be. How many grassroots people who make the bulk of the voters can you reach in 2 weeks, for God's sakes? How many can you mobilize? So whatever pact, whatever coalition people are working on right now, which is completely, with all due respect to the wonderful guys who are behind it, it is completely useless. I will do nothing more than ensure that this tyranny we're witnessing right now will continue. That's what's going to happen. As it stands now, everybody should rally behind the major candidate who can win. And you can say I'm campaigning, but at this point, everybody has to come out and say, yes, this is where I belong. This is who I'm standing behind. You can say, if you really, really, really want a change, if you really, really want a change of government, there's only one person who can defeat the incumbent. Only one person. And if you don't rally behind him, you're working for the incumbents.
Interesting. Let's talk about the main opposition candidate now, Atiku Abubakar, who had a bit of a misstep a lot of people have said with withdrawing from the debates the last time, he was supposed to show up for the debates. He got to the venue and decided not to get on stage because the ruling party's candidate was a no-show. How do you think his campaign has gone on so far? Because some people are also saying it hasn't been the most exciting campaign season. We're not seeing a lot. We're not hearing a lot. There doesn't seem to be the sort of drama that we witnessed in 2015. Why do you think that is?
First of all, I don't think it was a misstep not to debate the other guys. Debate is not a place to present your manifesto. He has done that several times. He has talked about his plans. He has done interviews. He has talked about what he thinks is wrong with the current government. He has done all that. A debate is to sit down, sit down with the other person and tell the world.
Yeah, but there were 3 other candidates.
You were 3 other candidates. Well, I mean, we're witnessing what is happening with the pact and all that, with one of the candidates withdrawing from the race and all that. They know they can't win. So why are you debating with people who know they can't win? Why are you wasting time? And it's also a strategy for him to call out the president.
Is it not valid when people complain about the fact that he was disrespectful to the viewers?
So I agree. I agree people can have that sentiment. But if you look at it from a strategic point of view, from a political and strategic point of view, he did very well. Now with Rubbi Ezekwesili's withdrawal, people are even seeing more reasons why he did. He's trying to say the president has to debate. He knows that if he had gone on well, he would have gotten all the darts, and then the president's team would have, things to campaign with him against, which is why some people are saying the third force are just there to divide and conquer. I want to believe that they have good intentions. But sometimes you see the reason why some people think these things. So it was very, very well informed for him not to debate. Now regarding his campaign, Atiku Abubakar is doing plenty of work. He's doing plenty of work. We know that it might not be as loud on social media as it was, say, in 2015. 2015 was a different ballgame entirely. But we also understand that he's doing plenty of more grassroots work, more leg work. He's visiting plenty of, he was in Jigawa the other day. He was in Kaduna the other day, and we see how the crowds turn up and everything. So yes, he's campaigning. He's doing what he should do. I think he should do more. I actually think he should do more. But then he's actually campaigning. He's doing plenty of work. The VP candidate was in Lagos the other day, and he went to Computer Village, and he's been engaging. He's been engaging stakeholders. He's been talking to people and telling them what he wants to do when he gets into that position.
The APC, who many people still believe are the favorites to win this. We've also been seeing a lot of pictures and videos on social media and on traditional media, of course, of campaigns with massive numbers of people and crowds everywhere turning out to welcome the president and the vice president. So there's still a movement there, isn't it?
Yeah, I have to admit that. There is a movement. But from feelers, media, polls, everything, majority understand that the APC is going to lose the election.
But, with the biggest democracy in the world, we found out that polls do not always work.
Yes, exactly, which is why I can theorize that they are panicking with all these justice on against suspension and all that. They are panicking that if it gets to a tribunal, based on the merits of the case, they might lose, which is possibly why they moved to basically suspend a CJA and unheard of, completely unheard of. As a matter of fact, I came here to protest. I have to tell you the truth. Under this, my shirt is a shirt I wore to protest. That's what I came here for. But the vice president, I wanted to just I was hoping to hold my placard and let the vice president know that we are displeased that he, a professor of law, is behind, like he's deputizing somebody who has completely flouted the rule of law, flouted because that's a treasonable offense. It's actually a treasonable offense. And I hope the Senate sits on it, the National Assembly sits on it, and they treat it to its fullest. So yeah, the APC is campaigning, but then are they seeing what is happening? They are, which is why they are doing all these other things. That's what I'll theorize.
What's really going to work for them now? Because besides the fact that they have a major following, and like we've said, we've seen the numbers, the power of incumbency we thought was always infallible until 2015. Do you think that's going to be the same this time? Do you think they have, and how do you even use that in a situation where we believe elections are a little more, are getting better with each one we hold? Do you think it's going to be better this time?
I can only hope. I can only hope. If at some point I believed it was going to be better, things are going to be better. But the last time I was in this show, I talked about elections that I've held during this cycle, like Itzi or Shun. We saw broad daylight. We saw it. But we also thought that nationally is a bit harder to do. But if you can unconstitutionally attempt to suspend the Chief Justice of Nigeria, that means you can do anything. So as it stands now, we can only hope that people actually come out to vote and defend their votes. And it is very important that everybody who has a PVC comes out, votes, defends their votes, make sure it is counted. It is very important that everybody does that. Because as it stands now, I believe that the PDP or Atiku has a chance to win. Has a very big chance to win, which is why they are panicking.
But the APC continues to, I mean, especially if you follow them on social media, they constantly feed us with like images of all the great infrastructural work they're doing across the country, which people are laying testament to. We have the second Niger Bridge, which is finally off the ground and seems to be making some progress. We have roads being built. We have rail lines, brand new rail lines being built across the country. And most people will tell you that the basis of any great nation is infrastructure. And that is what the APC seems to want to be doing here. Don't you think they deserve another 4 years to complete this project that they're working on?
My car has been in and out of the mechanic for, say, 1 week out of the last 2 weeks. Combined, 1 week out of the last 2 weeks because of bad roads. So when you talk about infrastructure, it doesn't affect me. What infrastructure are they building? How has healthcare improved? Our president basically goes out of the country to go and treat himself. What has really improved? Universities are on strike. These are the things that matter. The future of the country. Our students are at home right now. What infrastructure? Infrastructure is not contract. You give it to somebody, they build. Right? That doesn't take smartness or anything. Those are basic. Those are very, very basic things. And nobody should be campaigning with that in 2019, for God's sakes.
But they tell you that in the past, those things were not done. And this is the difference this time. Shouldn't they be campaigned on?
Oh, yeah, they can campaign on it. But is it enough? No. I completely disagree that it's enough. If you actually check the records, you find out that many of these contracts were signed by the previous administration. Yes, you started executing. Yes, you can get a plus for that. But are they enough? This election is about the future. How much power do we have? How much has been added to the national grid? Those are the metrics. Those are the things that matter.
Yeah.
If our students are not on strike right now, you can tell me that yeah, they are doing, but our students are on strike. That's very important to me because I think about not just now, I think about the future as well.
Yeah. You talk a lot about the PDP and how they might be in with a chance. But a theory that has been propounded a lot by the APC that's become sort of a mantra for them is 16 versus 4, which is the 16 years of the PDP versus the 4 years of the APC, and how much they've been able to do within just 4 years, and how PDP had 16 years and even had much more resources than they have now and have nothing to show for it. So why should anybody be excited about the PDP coming back?
Is it true that they have nothing to show for it? I can take you back to from when we left the military rule from 99. I mean, it was basically Nigeria fixing itself from all those years of military rule and everything. And we had an economy that at least worked to some extent. Work was in progress for a lot of things. Now, I did not support the previous administration, which is Goodluck Jonathan administration, and I can boldly say it. I never supported it. I mean, when the administration became poor, I actually kicked against it. But then, we have an opportunity to get things right with a candidate. See, I understand that party matters. I understand that structure matters. But I also understand that sometimes a candidate who has done the homework, who is engaging, who has plans, is bigger than whatever it is the party plans to do. And then you have two of these people. You have a Peter Obi, whose record in Anambra State is undefeated. I mean, you're from Anambra State. Education went from, 26 to number 1 in the whole Nigeria.
People, this argument comes up a lot, what you are saying now, and it reminds a lot of people of 2015, because this was exactly what we had in 2015. Or President Buhari and Oshibajo are amazing people. One is going to focus on the economy, the other guy is going to be the corruption and security guy, and they are bigger than the party, and whether the APC is there, they're going to just be these shining lights, regardless of what the party stands for. History is repeating itself again.
Oh, no, so, and I'll say this from a personal point of view. In 2015, it was about removing Goodluck Jonathan. For lots of people, including me, it was about removing Goodluck Jonathan. Yeah? We felt it couldn't be worse. So we put in somebody who we thought was, a reformed Democrat. And I apologize for that personally. But now we have an opportunity to elect somebody who actually has a plan. I think it's apples and oranges. But it's not just plans. It is somebody who has laid down feasible plans, who has the track record. Track record economically, track record in business.
But these are all documents. You can't base this thing. We've had promises for years.
But somebody has a track record.
But
Atiku also has a track record.
Mr. President, before he came in, also had a track record
Yeah.
with the PTF, which is why people voted him in. And he had a track record when he was in the military. So why should we believe any track records this time?
I mean, track record 83.
There's no track record.
I wasn't born then, but I read.
Well, the PTF was sooner.
83, 84. 83, 84.
The PTF was more recent.
Yeah, PTF was more recent, but then there were plenty of allegations against the PTF.
Yeah, plenty of allegations against the PDP candidates.
Yeah,
Well.
so allegations are flying everywhere.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about people who can actually not flout the rule of law, people who have succeeded in business, people who have built things, not people who have attempted to, or who are attempting to ruin our democracy.
All right. No problems. Thank you very much, Chidi, for coming here today. We'll continue to have the conversation. We know that we're supposed to have the Vice President on the show today. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it. Hopefully, we'll be having him in the future dates. Thank you very much for joining us. We are looking forward to the campaign season. So much is happening with the ruling party, of course, the APC, and all of the other parties running for office come February and March. Good luck to everybody, and hopefully next Sunday we'll be here again. Thanks for joining us, and I'll see you then.